guys, it's Katie, and I'm here today to do the You're Just Not Good Enough book tag. I was tagged by Shelby at Read and Find Out, when I will link her channel down below. I'm super excited to do this. It kind of seems like what you do is you put characters' names into like a jar or a box or something like that, and the tag is like a series of questions, and you pick out two names, and there are different situations, and you have to say which character would best suit the situation, I believe. And so it could be a really interesting and fun ride, and so I'm ready for it. So let's get into the 15 scenarios. Number 1. You only have one more spot on your spelling bee team. Who would you pick to complete your team? Well, let's pick out some names. Hopefully, they all stick together because they're on little sticky notes. 1, and got 2. So for the first one, I've got Luna from Harry Potter. And the second, I've got Ceres from the Heart of All Worlds series. And for this, I'm going to pick Luna because she is very knowledgeable, she's very quirky, but she's incredibly smart, and she knows what she's doing. She knows how to spell things and do things. Whereas Ceres is a she, which is an elf from Celtic mythology, and he doesn't speak English, and was quite a frivolous kind of character with just cares about very specific things, and English and language things are not one of them. So I'm definitely going with Luna from Harry Potter. Number 2. Both characters want to kill you. Which one would you kill first so you have a better chance of surviving? Oh dear Lord. These scenarios are really interesting, aren't they? 1, 2. So the first person I've got is Elise from the Realm of the Elderling series. And second, I've got Harry from Harry Potter. And wow, that is an interesting combo. So, Harry, we all know who Harry is. Harry is a young wizard from the Harry Potter series. He defeated a Dark Lord when he was about a year old, and now he goes to wizarding school and gets into all kinds of crazy shenanigans. And the other is Elise, and she is a scholar from the Realm of the Elderling series, and she goes on this journey with a lot of people and is involved in some dragons shenanigans, and she's actually like the epitome of me. So if I had to pick a character to kill first so I'd have a better chance of surviving, unfortunately I'm gonna have to go with Elise. As much as I adore her as a character, and as she is in terms of like book smarts and things, she's not that great when it comes to battles and things. Harry's more suited for that, even though he's quite a reckless little ragamuffin. I'm gonna pick Elise to kill, which makes me sad. It makes me so sad. But anyway, yes. Number 3, you're on The Bachelor or Bachelorette, and you're down to these two characters. Which one are you going to give your rose to? Well, let's pick some characters. Got 1, and I've got 2. The first one I've got is the Paragon from the Realm of the Elderling series. And the second one I've got is John Watson from the Sherlock Holmes series. If I remember correctly, when it comes to your rose, you're giving it to the person you want to stay. And you want to, like, keep. So if I'm remembering, I don't watch The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, and so that's, like, a weird thing. But if I'm remembering this correctly, I'm definitely going to pick John Watson to give my rose to because, one, John Watson is a human, and two, if he looks anything like Martin Freeman does in the BBC Sherlock, I'd totally be down with that because Martin Freeman, obviously. But even just the Watson that I've got in my head, I would totally dig that. Paragon is not human, and he breaks my heart, but I adore the Paragon. Paragon is a live ship. But so yeah, he's not human, so it might be hard to give him my rose. So I'm gonna pick John Watson. 4. You've been chosen for the Hunger Games. Who would most likely volunteer in your place? Oh dear. Well, let's see who I've got. I've got 1 and I've got 2. Let's take a look and check this out. So the first one I've got is Pippin from The Lord of the Rings. And he is a hobbit and a very jovial young hobbit who is very reckless and does all kinds of crazy things. And oh my god, the second one I've got is Serene from Elantris, which is part of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere world. Picking between these two, that's so difficult. Serene is very much a warrior type person, very good at what she does, very eager to do things. Pippin is very reckless and does his own thing. He learned how to fight fairly decently when he needs to, and Pippin has learned how to fight and he's kind of good at it. He's very small, so he can escape things pretty quickly and whatnot. But who would actually volunteer as tribute in my place? That's tough, I think, but I'm probably gonna pick Serene. She's very much the warrior type, just ready to rock and roll and go to prove her place. And if it was for someone that she loved or cared about, she'd be all up in that. So I think I'm gonna go with Serene. 5. You're stranded on an island. Which character would you sacrifice to engage in cannibalism? Well then. Let's see what I can come up with. First one we've got is Night Eyes from the Realm of the Elderling series. This got real tragic real fast. And the second is Kit from the Young Wizards series. Well, I think this might be a little bit easier because, one, Night Eyes is a wolf, and so therefore not a human being, therefore cannibalism can't occur. Kit is a human and is a wizard and can do all kinds of crazy things. Like all kinds of crazy things. Who would I pick? I think I'm gonna pick Kit to sacrifice because Night Eyes is a wolf. He can go hunting and find me things, whereas Kit can do wizardry and can create things that way, but seriously, Night Eyes is like a badass, sassy, snarky bro. So if I was in a time where I was having a dire problem and just freaking out, Night Eyes would be there to make me laugh, keep me warm, keep me company, hunt for food, and just basically be my conscience because Night Eyes is the best. Whereas Kit is a bit of a whiny, annoying little guy at times, and I don't need that. So yeah, I'm sacrificing Kit, and I'm keeping Night Eyes alive as my companion. 6. You're the next DC or Marvel superhero with your own TV show, of course. Who is your sidekick? Oh man, this is gonna be a good time. I've got 1, I've got 2. The first person I've got is Breeden. The second I've got is Hermione. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I think I know who I'd pick though. So Breeden is a human from the Heart of All Worlds books, and he has a very pure heart. He's just willing to do whatever he can for those he loves. He sacrifices everything he can for them. He's kind of got his life planned out. He loves cheese. I mean, he has my heart. But then there's Hermione from the Harry Potter series. She's brilliant. She's good at spells and tactical things. She knows what she's doing. She's just an incredible character. And so I think, honestly, for my sidekick, I'd pick Hermione because of all of the reasons. Great companion, great friend, very loyal, knows what she's doing, incredibly smart, just a great person to have around. So yeah, I'm definitely going with Hermione in this. Number 7. You're a manager of an avocado admiring company. Who would you fire for lack of communication skills? What? An avocado admiring company? What? Okay, sure. I've got one, and I've got two. First one I've got is Malta from the Realm of the Elderling series. And the second I've got is Sherlock Holmes. Good God. Who would I fire for a lack of communication skills? Oh dear. Okay, well, Malta is a young person who is a bit of a spoiled brat, but is also kind of grows up as time goes on. So if given time to grow, and I mean, she'd just be jealous of the avocados for part of her time there because she's a bit self-centered at times until she finally grows up. And then she'd be fighting for the avocados and just doing all she can for the company. And she's very vocal, so I don't think communication would be an issue. But then you have someone like Sherlock Holmes, and he's just rapid fire talking all the time about all kinds of things. And he's very intense. So he'd just be intense about the avocado admiring company and just maybe talking about random things. Sherlock is very thorough. Malta is very stubborn. And stubbornness is not necessarily a great trait to have in terms of working at a company, but neither is saying whatever is on your mind and just deducing everyone and just having general questionable social skills. So Malta's got the social skills, but Sherlock's got the talking and honing in on relevant information. Malta's got the heart. And Sherlock has got the passion. So who would be worse off to have for communication skills? This is hard. I think maybe I'll pick Sherlock because of his questionable social skills and just very much just speaking his mind and telling people that they're wrong all the time. I just don't think that's generally a good thing to have in a workplace. You need some kind of compromise. Sherlock's not great at that. Malta is still young yet, and she is able to learn all kinds of things and become very diplomatic. She comes from a well-off family. I mean, so does Sherlock, but she was raised in a certain way that I really think she'd do well at working with others. So I'm going to fire Sherlock. Sorry, bud. 8. You've just finished a book in which your favorite character dies. Which character is most likely to comfort you? Well, we'll see, won't we? 1. And I've got my 2. Let's see who we've got here. Oh my god. So the first one I've got is the Fool from the Realm of the Elderlings. And the second I've got is Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. Why do I keep getting these really difficult ones? I can't handle this. Ron has no tact, and he has, like, just his whole family upbringing. He's comforting in his own way, but he's not going to be necessarily the, like, huggy person that I need to comfort me over someone's death, whereas the Fool would just be right there with me, comforting me and talking with me and just being who I needed them to be at that point in time, and just they'd probably be even be there crying with me. But I'm also biased because the Fool is literally one of my favorite characters ever. But then I love Ron. He's so good for Harry. He's just always there. He's very loyal and he's very kind and he's just there for you in a way. But in terms of comforting after a death, I mean, Ron's lived through many deaths and many hardships throughout his life. But so has the Fool. I think because I have particular characters in my mind for when I'm doing this from both of these series. Ultimately, I think I'd pick the Fool because we'd be comforting each other and reminiscing and talking about the characters and just remembering our loved ones. Whereas Ron, I mean, we do that to an extent, but he's also the kind of person I'd see as wanting to grieve in a silent manner, whereas I, as a person, need to, like, actually talk to people about my grief and my upsetting situations. So I think the Fool would be better for me in that kind of a situation, just based off of my own personality and just the Fool, okay? Number 9. Ugh, it's high school. Yeah, same. Who would most likely be part of the popular clique? Well, let's find out. Got my 1, I got my 2. I've got Roshan from the Young Wizards series. And come on, are you kidding me? And I've got Cedric Diggory from Harry Potter. Both of these guys would literally fit into the popular clique. I am not even remotely joking about that. Roshan is an arrogant sun god, sun king, whatever, who is just very good at what he does. People tend to gravitate towards him in some ways. In other ways, he's really quite rude and he's an acquired taste, but he also kind of removes himself, but there's kind of more to it than that. But people are interested in him even if they don't necessarily like him. So maybe, whereas Cedric Diggory, I mean, he's literally part of the popular group at Hogwarts. Like, he has an entire posse that follows him around, but he's not necessarily arrogant about it, but he is the popular pick. People like him because of his looks, because of his personality, because of just him. And so, I mean, the obvious choice is Cedric Diggory, and so that's probably who I'm going to say. Cedric fits the popular clique category very well. Number 10. The day has arrived. You're finally a year older. Who would have the nerve to forget your birthday? Okay, I mean, all joking aside, literally everyone. 1. And I've got 2. Let's take a peek and see. First, we've got Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. And second, we've got Nita from the Young Wizard series. And that's kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, Elizabeth is a very kind, caring person, and she really is always there for those that she loves and cares about. Nita is very much a similar kind of character, but she also gets absorbed in work and other things really easily. So I mean, they both have a chance of forgetting my birthday, but I think based off the little bit more evidence that I have, I think Nita, because of her work ethic and her busy life schedule, she's not as much of a socialite as Elizabeth is, but Elizabeth is also from a very different time period. I mean, not comparable, but because of Nita's work ethic and her life in general, I'm gonna say Nita is probably more inclined to forget my birthday. Number 11, you've just found an upcoming BookTube star. Who would that most likely be? I've got my 1 and I've got my 2. So let's see who they would be. First is Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings. And second is Tash from the Heart of All Worlds series. Definitely gonna say Tash. Tash is not only the biggest bookworm, but he's also a linguist and a historian and an incredibly, incredibly talented being in general. Like, Tash is pretty much me in elf form. Aragorn is not really the bookish type. He's more of the mysterious ranger, fighter, kingly type. So I'm definitely going to go with Tash. Number 12, sleepover time. Unfortunately, you can only invite one person. Who would you invite? Got my 1, got my 2. The first one I have is Frey from the Heart of All Worlds series. And the second one I've got is Éowyn from The Lord of the Rings. Frey is an arrogant elf king, and he really just cares about himself. So I mean, if I invited him, we'd pretty much talk about him the entire time. Éowyn is just, I love Éowyn. She's such a badass, like, shield maiden kind of character, but she's very kind-hearted and just lovely, and we can have a lot of really great, deep conversations. And I like deep conversations, and we talk for a long time because I have a feeling we'd get along great. So I'm gonna pick Éowyn from The Lord of the Rings, obviously. 13, bam, you're pregnant. Who is the father or mother? Okay, sure. Got my 1 and I got my 2. First, we have Darien from the Young Wizard series. And second, we have Tintalia from the Realm of the Elderling series. So this got really funny really fast because Darien is a wizard from the Young Wizard series, and she's really, really pretty and really gorgeous and really, really smart and just awesome. Tintalia is a dragon, but she's kind of a mother of dragons, if you will. So, I mean, Darien is like super young. She's in her teens. So that's probably not an ideal situation. Tintalia is an old ancient dragon, and she's becoming the mother of new dragons. So solely based on that, I'd probably say Tintalia, as weird as that is. But actually, you know what? That's actually not far off. If you read the series, you'll understand a little bit more about why that's sort of not weird. But it took me a second. I mean, it sounds weird at first, but it's actually weirdly not. Huh. That's a fateful question. Yeah, I'm still picking Tintalia based on my realization, which is a wild time. But yeah, Tintalia would be the mother of my child. Okay. 14. You've just written a super important text. Who would see it but not reply? Got 1, and I've got 2. I've got is Althea from the Realm of the Elderlings series. And the second one I've got is Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice. Neither of them would reply right away. They're just not quite like that. I mean, Althea, she's just very ambitious, always constantly pursuing her own interests and her own life. And she doesn't reply to people who necessarily aren't in the vicinity of her. She's just very kind of carefree, goes with the flow kind of a situation. So, I mean, she wouldn't be that great. Mr. Darcy would read the text, and after being confused because it's a text instead of a letter, he would probably think about it for a while, brood in a corner, think about his life decisions, and then he would ultimately reply. So, I mean, he would reply, but he'd take a while, whereas Althea probably wouldn't because 1, she's always at sea, 2, she's always just kind of off pursuing her own interests and just having crazy adventure-like things. So I think Althea would probably be the one who would ignore the super important text. The last question is, you've just woken up and it's time for breakfast. Your mom's been replaced by who? Oh my god. Okay, I've got 1, I've got 2. I've got Mary from the Lord of the Rings series, and I've got, oh my god, this duo. I've got Fitz from the Realm of the Elderlings series. Excuse me while I go die from laughter. I'm like starting to cry. It's so funny. In terms of having some breakfast jam times, Mary is 100% the one who would be replacing my mom. Mary is a hobbit. Hobbits love food. Hobbits know their way around a kitchen, and Mary knows how to have a fun time. Like, hello. Mary would be the one who would be in my mom's kitchen. Fitz, just think about this for a second. Think of Fitz in a kitchen where he's not just eating. Think of Fitz cooking an actual meal. And then laugh with me. And think about why Mary would be a better choice for this option. Yeah, Fitz is just not gonna be in the kitchen. It's just, he's a walking disaster. I mean, we can all agree on that, right? Fitz can't handle his own life. Yeah, no. We're gonna go with Mary. Like literally a ride, and I had a blast doing this. This actually might be better than the Rip It or Ship It tag. I loved this tag more than I can even say, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm going to tag a few people probably down in the description because I just need to think about who I want to tag. So if you'd liked some of these weird pairings, tell me who your favorite was down, what your favorite scenario answer was down in the comments or on social media. because I'm so curious to know. So many of these were just so funny and weird and just, I don't even know. But as I said, that's about all I've got for you today. So as always, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media. I have a Twitter and a Goodreads, which are both linked below. And I also have other social media sites, such as a second Twitter, a Tumblr, and an Instagram, which is travel-centric. And I will come back with another video for you guys again soon. Okay, bye!